InsideFoos Productions coverage of the 2018 P4P World Championships continues as we again head down to table number 1 for some open doubles action in the losers bracket for 4th place or better. That's Frank Brauns in the forward position, Thierry Müller at goal. They'll be on the left side of your screen, and on the right, that's the great Frederic Collignon in the forward position, his partner out of Switzerland, Sandro Aeberhard. Brauns and Müller, of course, two of the great German players. That's 3 games out of 5. The winner will advance to 4th place or better. And here we go. Frederic Collignon will put the ball into play. Collignon already in the finals of open singles. He'll face Niklas Westermann in that final a little later today. And he'll open up this first game with a possession on the 3-rod. Fred finds that hole back down the middle, so he's come out early, attacking the middle part of the goal, which should open up some corners for him as the match progresses. Of course, he's going up against a guy, Thierry Müller, very smart defensive player, so we'll see how that chess game progresses. Here's Brauns. Collignon and Aeberhard off to the good start here, up 2-0 here in the first. That shot on goal, rebound grabbed by Collignon. Into the far corner here, it makes it 3-0. Quick start for Collignon and Aeberhard here in game number 1. Collignon again, and it's 4-0. That one chipped up to the middle man. That's a pass that Brauns likes to use. He's down 4-0 right here, trying to get something going, and it's taken away by Sandro. Brauns will get another chance here to get his team on the scoreboard here in this opening game. One of the keys to beating, or at least competing with, Frederic Collignon is believing that you can. And over the years, we've seen so many players who enter a match with the greatest ever, not really feeling like they can win. He's too good. You have to believe. And Collignon now can close out game number 1. Try to come near side. Müller with the takeaway. Thierry, a very good shooter back here off that front pin set on the far side. Fired that one on goal. There's Brauns to pick up the rebound. And stroke it home. So 2 in a row from Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller. It's now 4-2 in favor of Collignon and Aeberhard here in game number 1. Second chance for Collignon to close out this opening game. But first, a timeout. Frederic Collignon will put the ball back into play. Looking to win game number 1 once again, Collignon. Try to come back near side. Sent that one just wide of the goal. Rebound grab by Müller. And taken back by Fred. And that one's going to get through. Looked like Müller was there, but it hit off Thierry's man and into the goal. And Collignon and Aeberhard lead 1-0. Frank Brauns, Thierry Müller hoping to get off to a better start here in game number 2. They fell behind 4-0. Did tighten it up to 4-2, but then Collignon on his, I believe, third chance was able to put it away. It's best 3 games out of 5. The winner of this one would face York Harms and Marvin Velasco, the world multi-table doubles champions on the ITSF side of things. Collignon again looking to strike first here in the second game, but Müller doing a good job defensively after a somewhat slow start, or a fast start by Collignon, as it were. And then off the outside wall and in, something he does very well. It's 1-0. Frank Brauns, multi-German champion. Say the same about Thierry Müller. 2 of the most decorated players in the history of German table soccer, Tischfußball. Collignon. And he fires that one home. Not sure what hole he hit there, and neither is Thierry Müller, and it's 1-1. Frederic Collignon, a man who has won world championships on every possible table, on every table that a world championship has been held on over the last 25 years. Beautiful bounce pass here by Brauns. Frank tried to come near side. Saw Aeberhard post him up on that near side, make the block back the other way. Müller will again look to bank the ball. Instead, he sends it down the middle, does clear it. Brauns brushing it up to that middleman. Again, that's a pass you'll see really only on this table. The size of the holes on the 5, the narrowness of the man's foot allow for those sorts of passes. Of course, the ability to brush the ball as well. Another nice block there by Aeberhard, up into the air and off the table, and Sandro has earned the right to put the ball back into play. We're even at 1 goal apiece here in the second game. 1-0 lead for Collignon and Aeberhard. Brauns not really getting much behind that one. Went wide of the goal, and Aeberhard will put the dead ball back into play. That rebound's going to come off the back wall to Brauns. Frank chipping it up to the center man here. Frank trying to get going here. He does cut that one back down the middle to give his team a 2-1 lead here in this second game. Collignon will be playing for another world championship on the Ulrichsport table a little later on today against another of the very good young German players, Niklas Westermann. Even at 2 here in game 2. Brauns getting opportunities, the 5 really working well. Frank strokes it home near side. It's 3-2. Collignon will look to tie, and he quickly does, as he gave a little bit of a fake to the far side, brought it back to that near corner. Frederic Collignon will put the ball back into play and look to give his team the lead here in this second game. Collignon try to come near side, sent that one just wide. Rebound grab by Müller. Brauns fires it home. 4-3 lead here in the second game for Brauns and Müller. Back comes Collignon. Fred shot attempt blocked by Thierry. Collignon down the middle. We're tied at 4. Big ball here, especially for Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller. And we're going to get a timeout. Frank Brauns will put the ball back into play. 4-4 here in the second. 1-0 lead for Collignon and Aeberhard. That pass attempt blocked by Collignon comes back to Brauns, who is able to get it through here, and he's got a chance to tie the match up at a game apiece. Frank Brauns strokes it home to the far side. It's 1 game apiece. Five teams remaining in the open doubles competition. Brauns and Müller, Collignon and Aeberhard, Velasco and Harms, Drusa and Hansen, of course, and sitting in the king seat already in the finals, the American Ryan Moore and the great British player Robert Atha. Atha looking for a second straight P4P World Championship, and Brauns really heating up. Strokes that one home. The key really for Frank Brauns has been that the 5 has really been working well. Is getting opportunities, and Müller is getting some blocks. Let's see if he can get one here against Collignon. Fred finds that hole back down the middle. It's 1-1. Tied up at a game apiece, tied up at a goal apiece here in this match for 4th place or better in the losers bracket of open doubles here at the 2018 P4P World Championships. Jim Stevens with you. Brauns couldn't hold on to that pass. It squirts back to his 5. Frank again will look to advance it, and he does through the lane. Looking to regain the lead here. Flipped it over down the middle, off the man and in. Sandro Aeberhard exploded from the table. Felt like he was there. And he was, but the ball hit off the man and went in anyway. Stolen away here by Brauns. Frank really on the 5 row has been outstanding since the beginning of that second game. He is getting chances. It has given him confidence offensively, and he's shooting it well as well. Try to come back down the middle there. Aeberhard with the block. Brauns again. Trying to take it out to the far side. And Sandro there defensively. Shot attempt picked off by Brauns. Frank can't hold on to this pass. 2-1 lead here in the third game for Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller. Brauns really started working that passing series where he'd pass it to that center man. Tries to go through the lane here. Blocked back into the goal by Collignon. It's 2-2. Another chance for Brauns. Frank strokes it home near side. Yep. 3-2 lead here in the third game for Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller. We're tied up at a game apiece. Collignon advancing it along the near wall. We'll set it up against Müller. Call time out. Ball put back into play by Frederic Collignon, who will look to tie this third game up at 3. And he does. Passed along the near wall by Brauns. Big possession here for Frank. Or even at 3 here in the third. Tied up at a game apiece as Brown rocks back and forth. Aeberhard with a block on the first effort. And strokes it home near side on the second. It's 4-3. Boy, when he hits those corners, he does it with such speed and power. Very athletic player. And he takes it away from Collignon here. And he gets it through, and a chance now for Brauns and Müller to go up 2-1. I don't think he'll use a timeout. He wants to keep Fred in that forward position. Does not want him back there defensively, you would think. But shot attempt blocked anyway by Aeberhard up the table where it's grabbed by Collignon. And he strokes it home near side just like that. It's 4-4, and that's always the dilemma in that situation. Do you call the timeout, which is usually the good play, the good call when you want to close out a game, or do you not use the timeout because you don't want the greatest player of all time and maybe the best defensive player of all time moving back to goal? We're tied at 4. Well, he chose not to call the timeout. Had the shot blocked by Aeberhard up the table to Collignon, who tied it at 4. So in retrospect, maybe it was a wrong decision, but that's a moot point as Thierry Müller down the middle into the goal gives his team a 2-1 lead. Fourth game underway. Collignon and Aeberhard trailing 2-1 as Fred puts it into play. And he'll have the first scoring opportunity of game number 4. In these situations, usually you get the best of Collignon. When he's behind in the match or immediately following a loss, he's usually pretty good, usually comes back with a win. But up against a very good team in Brauns and Müller, and they're proving it. They've played well after a slow start. Remember, they were down 4-0 in the first game, and they're now leading 2-1. But Müller really thinking along with Fred nicely. Has defended him well. Another block here for Müller. And then stuffed back into the goal. The shot attempt by Müller. Fred made the block, and then that was sitting right in front of the goal. He just kind of tapped it in, and it's 1-0. Even though you're up 2-1 against Collignon, you've got to come out with a strong effort here. You don't want to let him back into the match if you're Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller. Brauns fires that one home. It's 1-1. We talked early on in this match about the fact that you have to believe you can beat Collignon. Well, I think right now, certainly, Frank Brauns, Thierry Müller believe they can. And they are in position to do so. They're going to need some blocks. They're going to need some scores. Collignon now gives his team the lead 2-1 here in the fourth game. Oh, that one was almost getting through to Brauns, but a quick reaction from Collignon snatched that ball back in. But Brauns does take it back. And Frank working the passing series to the center man is what really opened things up for him. Allowed him to get confidence because he was getting possessions. He gets another possession here and is able to knock it in. It's 2-2. Brauns and Müller leading 2-1. Tied at 2 here in the fourth. Collignon. Tried to come back down the middle. Müller showed it to him, then took it away. Thierry with that big shot to close out that third game. Aeberhard will put it back into play after it flew off the table. Sandro likes to shoot a push shot back here. And he likes to score it. It's 3-2. Big shot there from Sandro Aeberhard. Brauns didn't execute the pass, taken away by Collignon. And a timeout called here by Fred. Ball put back into play by Collignon. Pass attempt knocked down, sent back towards the goal where it's picked up by Aeberhard. 3-2 lead for Fred and Sandro here in game number 4. They trail 2-1. And the rebound grabbed here by Collignon. Now Aeberhard. Scored the last time he had it. Send that one up the table. Müller with the pickup. Still 3-2 here in game number 4. That one sent down the middle on goal. Aeberhard with the block. Brauns looking to get a possession. He has not had a lot of them here in this fourth game. Can't hold on to the pass here. If you're going to beat Frederic Collignon and whoever he's playing with or in singles, you've got to close it out with authority. You have to be aggressive in putting it away. And not let him back into the match if you have him down. And now he's looking to get back into the match, but can't hold on to it. It comes back to Brauns. And a timeout called by Frank. Frank Brauns puts the ball back into play. Looking to tie it up at 3 here in the fourth game. Brauns. Stokes it home. 3-3 here in the fourth. Frank Brauns, Thierry Müller, 2 goals away from eliminating Collignon and Aeberhard. As Fred attempts to get a possession here on his 3-rod. And he does. Collignon for the lead. We'll call timeout. Frederic Collignon puts the ball back into play. Shooting for the lead here in game number 4. Tried to take it out to the far side, blocked by Müller. It hops up into the air and back to Fred on the 5. Thierry's really done a nice job defensively throughout the match, or at least since that opening game when Fred hit his first 3 or 4 in a row. But I think he's held him under 50% since then, and it's stolen away here by Brauns. Again, do you call the timeout here? No, you slide it down the middle. It's match point for Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller. This match not over yet, however. You still got to get that final one if you're Brauns and Müller. Collignon now will look to tie it. And he does. It's 4-4. Fred thinking about a switch, then decides not to. He'll defend Brauns on the 5. Frank puts it into play. It's match point for Brauns and Müller. Along the wall goes Brauns, a chance to advance right here. Frank Brauns. That one went wide of the goal. Bouncing rebound, grabbed by Aeberhard. Brauns has had a chance to win the match. Aeberhard back the other way. Collignon couldn't quite grab it. Picked up here by Müller with that big shot to close out the previous game. Can't give him a bank. You saw Fred bait him for that straight and try to block it. And to bank it off the inside while it bounces back towards Thierry's goal. Müller again will pick it up and set it up dead center. And that one up into the air and off the table. Sandro Aeberhard will put the ball back into play. It is 4-4 here in the 4th. Match point for Brauns and Müller. Sandro has it taken away by Frank Brauns. Oh, and it squirts away from him. That ball was spinning. Hold on a minute. Wow, they're going to give that back to Frank. And Fred can't believe it. I believe the ball was spinning and just got away from him. And I think they're saying that maybe there was a distraction in there somewhere. And Fred can't believe it. Frank will take the gift if they give it to him. They're going to award the ball back to Brauns. We'll put it back into play and look to win the match. Brauns. Tried to come down the middle, taken back by Aeberhard. That would not have been a good way for this match to end. A shot up the table on goal by Sandro, picked up by Müller. Thierry. And almost turning it over. And now we're going to have the call against Müller on the follow-through. After he shot the ball, going to bang the wall, and that ball will be awarded back to Collignon. Now Fred will shoot to extend the match to a 5th game. He does not have a timeout remaining. Shooting against Thierry Müller, Frederic Collignon. Shot attempt blocked and taken back by Müller. Fred went with a quick one there. Müller rattles that one up the table, picked up by Aeberhard. Sandro up the table off a man and in. So Frederic Collignon, Sandro Aeberhard stay alive. They were down 4-3 in the fourth. Frank Brauns had 2 shots to win it. But it's Sandro Aeberhard who hits it off a man, off the wall, and into the goal to send this match to a 5th and final game. Here we go, 5th game underway. Brauns had a couple of chances. Now Frank again working the pass to the center man. Looking for the early lead here in the 5th. Frank Brauns trying to go out to that far side. Aeberhard with the block. Rebound grab by Collignon. Credit Sandro Aeberhard with some good play down the stretch in that 4th game. Keeping Brauns from scoring the match-winning point on 2 occasions and then being aggressive offensively. And Collignon finds the hole. It's 1-0 here in the 5th. Oh, for the last 3 games or so, Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller have been the better team on the table. Not by much, but enough to where they were up 2-1 and had 2 shots to win the match. So, big shot here for Brauns. Looking to tie it at 1 here in the 5th. Frank fires it home near side. It's 1-1. Collignon has that pass sent back towards Aeberhard's goal. Sandro will set up the push shot. Puts that one on goal. Rebound comes to Brauns. Frank back along the near wall. And it's 2-1 as Frank finds the far side.
Yes,
2-1 lead here in the 5th game for Brauns and Müller. Collignon. Fred finds the hole to the far side, brought it over and kind of sprayed it to that far corner. We're tied at 2. Another good one here on table number 1 as we open up play here on a Sunday. Our first match of the day, and now Brauns will shoot for the lead here in game number 5. He's made his last 2. Frank tried to come back down the middle, blocked and taken away by Aeberhard. Shot down the middle on goal. Collignon picks up the rebound and will look to advance it to his 3-rod, which he is able to do. Now Fred will shoot for the lead. But first, a timeout. Collignon will put the ball back into play. And stroke it back to that near side. You saw Müller completely committed to the middle and far side, and Fred gave a little bit of a hitch, a little bit of a fake right before he shot the ball that made sure that Thierry stayed over there. It's now 3-2. 2 in a row from Collignon and Aeberhard. Brauns. He'll tie it at 3. Frank shot attempt far side. There's Aeberhard with the block up into the air and off the table, and he has certainly been a factor. Sandro puts it back into play. Again, puts it on goal. This time Collignon able to pick up the rebound, and he'll set it up looking to increase his team's lead here in the 5th game. Does have one timeout remaining. That shot attempt blocked by Müller, and then back into the goal. It's match point for Collignon and Aeberhard. When you have shots to put away the great players, you have got to take advantage of them. Brauns had 2 opportunities in game 4. And of course, Aeberhard, solid defender back there, made the blocks. But you've got to find a way to put him in. He does put this one in to make it 4-3. Remains match point, however, for Collignon and Aeberhard. And Fred brushes it through the lane and can win it right here. Does have a timeout remaining if he elects to use it. For the win, Collignon strokes it home. In 5 tough games, Frederic Collignon, Sandro Aeberhard survive against Frank Brauns and Thierry Müller to advance in the losers bracket of open doubles.